How you guys doing? It's Eddie with Discovery Reptiles. Now, someone sent me a really important message, and I really want to address it. Okay? So, and this is Kira, by the way. She's one of our Cayman lizards. Um, Now, someone sent me a message. They said that they're in college up in Pennsylvania, and that they've got, crested geckos and they've got small animals. Now, the college does not allow for anyone in a dorm to house any kind of animals, anything small or larger than goldfish. And the question that she asked me is, what's my interpretation of it? How do I feel about it? Now, the thing of it is that if you, in my personal opinion, if you segregate, the fluffy animals like the rabbits, the dogs, the cats, from animals that are a little bit more exotic, like the crested geckos, the iguanas, and so on, all you're going to do is you're going to breed more insecurities, you're going to breed more fear, you're going to breed more doubt. Now, I understand in a dorm, it's tough. And the reason why it's tough is because you're going to college, you're going to school, you have homework, you've got essays. I myself am in school, so I know exactly what that's like. It's a lot to just take care of the schoolwork, make money, and also take care of animals. Now, the question that she was asking is, I think it's okay if she even just had something small like crested geckos? And she said that she would take care of them, that she would obviously clean them every day. She's had them for a long time. Do I think that it's right? And personally, I don't. I think that if you're in school, and one of the things that she raised was a good question, it's a good topic. She said that she's so stressed with schoolwork, she's so stressed with all the assignments, that the animals are almost like an outlet. So, a lot of people will go to parties and drink. Instead, she just spends time with her crested geckos. And I think what happens is that other school students will see them, they're around them, and they understand that it's not something to be afraid of. It's something that's a little bit unique. And it adds and alleviates stress. It adds, positive reinforcement to that particular person, because they're thinking, you know what, I'm tired of school right now. I'm going to take a little break before I study for this exam, and I'm just going to hang out with some of the animals. And I know for me, it's almost therapeutic. It's where I'm having a really stressful time. I hang out with Kira. I relax. She's something that I can enjoy, kind of reset my mind, sort of recalibrate, and then go back to doing what I was doing. And so I do think that it's something that we should kind of look into and should consider. I think that when you're in school, and the thing is with her, she's in a field for animal sciences. So she's in a field that, is heavy on animal husbandry, is heavy on the animal related aspect. And I think that it's something that we should look into. I don't think that it's something where, obviously, again, a lot of students, a lot of, college age, people, they're not necessarily responsible. They are really dirty. They don't really take care of things. I think that if we set certain parameters in place to where these animals are going to be taken care of, they are going to be clean. I think at any moment, if, it starts to smell up the dorm, then yes, the animals need to go away. But I think if you show a certain level of character and you show a certain level of responsibility, I don't think it's unreasonable for someone to own something like that and have them in a dorm. And especially something small. If you wanted to own a Cayman lizard, no. Okay, fine, sorry. They get big, they need a lot of room to move around. That's not an animal that, really does need to be in a dorm. But if you're owning something small like a crested gecko or a Malagasy day gecko, or, even a bearded dragon, something that's small that you can house in a little enclosure that's not going to, take up a lot of room, that's not going to, take up so much space where and of course, if your roommates are okay with it, then I think it should be all right. I think if your roommates say, you know what, yeah, I'm okay with something like this, then of course. And I think there's a stigma towards people that own exotics where they're dirty and they smell, and even animals like rats and ferrets and so on. Now, yeah, ferrets do have a particular odor, but I think if you keep the enclosure clean and if you show that level of responsibility, then it's not something that I think we need to shy away from. And one of the things that I have noticed is that the people that are around these particular animals, they have a different level of respect and outlook on, ecosystems, on ecological preservation. I started around animals when I was about 6 years old or so. And so I didn't really need anyone to teach me, hey, it's important to try to save wildlife. I was around it so much that I just instinctually wanted to protect it. I instinctually wanted to be around it. I would go fishing and outside and stuff, and I would see snakes. I never had any kind of trepidation where I wanted to, run away and go home. I always found myself fascinated by them. I always found myself saying, wow, this is a really cool animal. Look at, look at how they're made. Look at the, the stripes, and look at the tongue, and, look at their eyes. And I just was always fascinated by them. So I think that when you're in academia, when you're in college, and you see someone that has something that you're unfamiliar with, you can become curious about it. And it's kind of a gateway. It opens up the door to that person, saying, hey, you know what? Okay, this is a caiman lizard. These guys are from South America. They're from the Amazon. And you start talking about them. And before you know it, you opened up the door to a really cute animal like this, okay, who's absolutely just the cutest thing in the, I mean, seriously, look at that face. So you open up a door talking about an animal like this, and before you know it, you want to save the Amazon. You want to conserve, the Amazonia, because caiman lizards live there. You might not necessarily know the extent that these animals play in the, in an ecological source where, they're predatory or they're prey or so on, but hey, you know what, caiman lizards live there, and I had an interaction with one, and it was the coolest animal, and I want to try to save them. And so it's the same with tigers, it's the same with crested geckos, it's the same with all these different types of animals. And so I think if you're in school and you're in college and you have an opportunity to encounter something like that, it's powerful. It makes a big, 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 impact. So I do think that, yes, in certain circumstances, we do need to open up the doors, and we do need to say, hey, you know what, is this something that we should look into? Goldfish, I mean, come on, like, let's be honest. If someone has a goldfish, it's a goldfish. It's 50 cents. It's a cheap animal. If someone has something like a crested gecko or, a blue gecko or something, something that's really rare, I mean, it's something where you're really going to pay attention to it. It's something where you're really going to give that animal a lot of time and a lot of effort. And I think that at some point in time, we do need to revisit this and say, is it something that we should allow? Is it something that, could realistically be tackled? And is it something that we, would even open up the door for more and more and more students to become environmentally conscious and look at the world and ecosystems and biodiversity as something that is essential, not something that should be overlooked and not something that should be trampled on. So it does breed a lot of different types of conversational type pieces that we should consider. And so that's my interpretation of it when she messaged me and said, you know what, I miss my geckos. I'm even contemplating dropping out and taking time off and going home because the stress of college and the stress of, just the essays and everyday life is a lot, and I kind of miss that outlet. If you're in a position where someone's thinking about dropping out or transferring because you miss that, part of you, then yeah, I think it's getting to a critical point. And I advised her, don't drop out, stick with it, finish your schooling. But that being said, it is an important part. And I know that there's a lot of people who, they've got their tortoises, they've got their iguanas, they've got their snakes. And again, if it's not something that's big, if it's something that realistically could be housed in a small dorm, why not? Why not? I don't see the reasoning behind it. If you can keep it clean, if you can take care of it, if you can maintain it, if you can do all those things, then I don't really see the problem in it. So that's something that is my personal opinion of it. I think Kira could concur, right? Right? You agree? Yep. Yeah, I know. So, that's something where I know when I'm stressed with schooling and I've got a lot going on and I'm doing essays and I get to work with the animals, it definitely calms me down. When I get to just watch the iguanas eat or hold one of the snakes or sit outside with the tortoises while they're chomping on grass, it's an outlet for you. So that's my reasoning behind it. I know I will most definitely get questions about Kira and about caiman lizards. I will make another video another time. Time just doesn't permit today. I've got a lot to do and I got to get going. But I just wanted to, talk about that for a few minutes so you guys can understand my feeling of it, and maybe you guys feel the same way. Maybe somewhere out there, there's somebody who's working as a even an adjunct professor or a professor in a university, and maybe you feel the same way. Maybe you're thinking, hey, you know what, yes, it would be beneficial to students to interact with these animals instead of being segregated from them because we're led to believe that they're evil and scary and dirty and nasty and they carry diseases, and if I come in contact with a little tiny gecko, I'm gonna die. That's kind of the interpretation of it. So again, maybe there's someone out there that feels the same way. Maybe there's someone out there that is in a position of greater power than me and can do something to change that. So, and again, this is Kira. So she's, like I said, one of my favorite animals. She's just absolutely beautiful. We love her to death. And she loves to just kind of hang out and relax. She's a big hat fan. So anytime that I have her on my shoulder, she always just kind of climbs onto the hat. And before you know it, she's just happy as a clam. So she's a great, great little animal. So anyway, if you guys have any more questions, feel free to message me. The message I got was on my Facebook page, on the Discovery Reptiles page, which is phenomenal. I'm getting quite a lot. So if you guys want, message me on the Facebook page or send me a text or a phone call at 239-440-5307. And if you don't even want to do that, you're more than welcome to just shoot me a message on my email. It's discoveryreptiles@yahoo.com. So discoveryreptiles, one word, @yahoo.com. And I'll be more than happy to make any other videos that you guys want, talk about any of the topics that you guys want. And I really do hope that this brings up a conversation. I hope at the very least that this sparks some kind of conversation between people where people are starting to say, hey, you know what? Yeah, let's take a look at this again. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you share this video with whoever you desire, and I will make another video for you guys again really, really soon. All right? Thanks.